and welcome to the Soundschi Land Show, where everybody's upside down.
Every day is upside down day in Soundschi Land.
And as I promised last week, today I have Morgan with me. We just came back from a really cool afternoon at the park doing some hands-on-hand stuff, which is really weird, but I guess you've done it a couple of times already.
Oh yeah, just starting, but we've been doing it for a couple weeks now, but we're not too good yet.
It was looking pretty good though. Is that
Thanks.
something you would want to pursue in the future?
Maybe. It's definitely a possibility, but it's not even like the same discipline as hand balancing. It's so different that I would have to train it as something completely different and like organize it around my hand balancing training.
Yeah, and I mean, your hand balancing game is just insane. Like,
Thanks.
the short amount of time he has spent in training, it was 3 years, right?
Yeah, coming up on 3 years in like December.
So not even 3 years.
Like 2 3/4.
It is insane. So I would actually like to ask you if you think that it's maybe something genetic, maybe you're talented, or do you think that you put in more time than most people? What do you think it is?
That's a tough question. So I think a little bit has to go to being genetic, a little bit genetically gifted for hand balancing, but I did work really, really hard, especially the first year with Josh. Yeah, we spent like the majority of our waking hours training, usually. Most of that was flexibility stuff, ironically, but
Were you working at that time?
I wasn't. I was doing homeschooling. Yeah.
So you had a lot of time.
Yeah, I had pretty much all my waking hours were spent either eating, training, or doing the small amount of schoolwork that I did. So yeah, the first year me and Josh just worked so hard on flexibility and kind of ignored handstands a little bit. We did like 45 minutes every other day or something. And then from there, after the first year, we started taking hand balancing more seriously, and it just kind of like, our progress just kind of exploded after that. Because I think we set a really good foundation of flexibility, and so we could focus almost all our time on hand balancing. I don't even know why we got good very fast, but yeah, it's probably genetically gifted a bit. Yeah, I'm pretty young still. I started training when I was 16. I'm 18 now.
Yeah.
And I'm 10 years younger than Josh, so yeah.
Have you ever thought about going to circus school and getting more into the performing scene?
Yeah, I really want to start performing. I looked into some circus schools. It'd be really interesting for me to go to the Ukraine school because all the really good hand balancers that I look up to a lot, they all came out of there. So sometime in my life, I definitely want to go to the Ukraine school. I also looked into the school in Montreal for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it seems kind of, I don't really know what it is about it because it seems amazing. There are a lot of great people coming out of there. But it just doesn't seem like the right choice for me right now. I want to go straight into performing. I don't want to spend any more time preparing.
Yeah.
I just want to do it.
I mean, you're definitely at a level where you can do stuff.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to work a lot more on my artistic like presentation of stuff.
Where would you get that from?
So I think I just need to make more acts and perform more places. I think that's like, it's just like anything else. It just comes from practicing it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I've only performed like a handful of times here and there, so definitely me and Josh are looking to perform a lot more.
Yeah.
Coming into winter. Yeah.
He said that last week. I think that sounds really good.
Yeah.
And you should definitely pursue that.
Yeah, I definitely want to.
Who are some hand balancers that you admire on stage?
On
Or just in
stage?
general, like in technical terms?
Okay. For technical stuff, obviously all the Ukrainians like Pavel Stankovic, Artur Bezkurny, this really, really good guy who nobody really knows about. His name is Andrei Spatar, and a guy called Alexander Martinovsky, Sasha Bachman. He's not from Ukraine, he's from Germany, but he's really, really good. In terms of like artistic presentation, Mikhail's acts are one of my favorite to watch. He has like fairly long acts, like close to the 10-minute mark. But like the Ukrainians acts, I can't watch all of it usually. Like I get bored if I watch it over and over again. But I've watched Mikhail's acts so many times. The bathtub act, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
I love it so much. I watch it over and over again. It's great.
What do you like about it?
I love that it's so different. It's so Mikhail. Like it's so like manly and rough, and he like makes a pot of coffee middle of the act and just sits down and drinks it.
It's just so him.
It's so him. It like embodies his whole personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So what are you working on right now?
I'm working on a lot. Technically wise, I mainly want to be able to do one arm switches on canes, one arm pressing, and one arm lowering to croc. but those are all super hard for me still. So I can do kind of pretty much everything below that level, and I'm working on sequencing together flags and figas and stuff. So like when figa legs together and then out to full flag would be a good sequence for me to get. But I can do most things like 1 out of 10 times. It's just being able to do it 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 times. It's hard. That's like all of hand balancing. It's so hard to do things consistently.
Totally. Yeah. So how do you go about your training? Do you have like a fixed program?
I used to. In the beginning, I definitely had a fixed program, reps and sets and times. I hit every single thing every single day. But when your level gets a little higher and you can work on a lot of different things in one day, you can kind of get really overwhelmed. And so what I've done, I think what Josh has done too, is we've separated into heavy days where we work all our maximal strength, like one arm pressing, one arm loaded croc. We have medium days where we do figa transitions and some flags and stuff. And then light days where we kind of work on straight transitions, like straddle to legs together to tuck, something kind of easy like and simple like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I am my training structure right now.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of handstands these past few days.
Yeah.
So this is not how you always train, or is it?
My training fluctuates a lot. Sometimes I do a lot. We did like train like 4 hours one day or something. Like we did a lot of handstands. That's usually way more volume than I'm used to, than I do. But occasionally I'll get really passionate about like some certain move that I really want to learn, and I'll spend that entire week training like 3 to 5 hours a day, just trying to nail that down consistently. But when I'm not super obsessed over a certain move like that, it's usually only like an hour to 3 hours per day. On the heavy days, it's actually quite a bit less total time because I just get so tired so quickly.
Yeah.
So like one arm press is kind of my main goal right now, and that's the thing I'll work on the most on the heavy days. And so if I do the drills that I have for that, I usually get tired in like 45 minutes, and I have to switch to like some flags, and then another half hour, and then it's like an hour and 15 minutes, and then I'm done. I'm too tired to do anything else.
Are you frustrated with the one arm press?
Kind of.
Gotcha there.
I definitely was for a while, but now I just kind of realized that I thought it was way, way easier than it was going to be. And so I can do the press on the long cane where you slide your foot up and then go into one arm handstand from that. But the one where you go from a straddle one arm L sit, it's like is undescribably hard. Like I've never tried anything that hard before in my life, and so just like I kind of gained more respect for it, and I won't say I'm frustrated with it now. I just kind of like respect it more.
Yeah.
Just kind of I'm willing to put in the time more for it, to grind it out more.
Do you feel like other skills or other tricks came to you easier?
This is really interesting because I don't feel like anything really came easy to me, but then other people looking into my training think that everything comes easy to me.
It kind of looks that way because also you have like, you're the kind of person that just goes for it and you try something. Like when we were playing this challenge thing the other day, like I tell you to do something and then you just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. So
You know?
My body is really good at learning new motor pathways quickly. I think that's what I'm really good at. But it's not just for hand balancing. Like if you set up like a dance choreography for me because you were a high-level dancer, I feel like I could pick that up fairly quickly too. It's not anything specifically designed towards.
Yeah, it's also like climbing. Like
climbing
today, you're really good.
It was fun. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's so weird to me because like people like you and like all the hand balancing friends I have, they always think that stuff comes super quickly to me, and but I feel like me and Josh were progressing at the same rate for a really, really long time. He was getting everything just as fast as me, if not faster sometimes. But yeah, recently there's been kind of like this level increase that I don't really know where it came from, but I got a lot better in like 2 months or like a month and a half. Like my level skyrocketed, and it's been like steady since then. But I think it's from losing a lot of weight because me and Josh were bulking really hard last winter. I got up to like 180 pounds, which is like 80 kilos, 85 kilos,
Probably
something
like that.
Yeah, and so I lost like 20 pounds, and then my level just went.
Oh wow!
It went so fast. Everything got really light, really easy.
Oh.
And so I'm just trying to kind of like come to terms with all the new moves I could do, because before I could like straddle. Sometimes I could close together on one arm and I would fall, and then now that's like warm up, I can do that easy for reps. So I'm trying to like make that stuff super consistent. I know on my worst day I can do that, and then I'm also trying to work on really hard stuff like legs together to legs together figa on one arm. That's a really hard transition. I want to get down consistently. Yeah.
That is interesting with the weight.
Yeah, it helps. That's probably why my level got so much higher so fast. It was a big difference. It was a big difference for sure. I was also when I started training one arm pressing, and I thought that it would hurt me because I wasn't eating a lot of food and I wasn't recovering super well, but it actually just got so much better because like the amount of weight I had to push, it dropped so much.
Yeah. I could actually feel that with my own press too after we came to the United States. Yeah.
We made you a little bit fat over here. Sorry about that.
They're giving me the full American experience here.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm really curious about how you try to get acts, like how you try to get performances. How do you go about that?
That's a really good question. I wish I had a really definitive answer for you, but it's kind of like you have to get rejected 1,000 times, and then 1 out of the 1,000 will say, oh, maybe we'll want you for a future performance.
But how does that work? Do you just make up acts and then send a videotape in?
So we have a act that we choreographed and we performed a couple times, and so we have footage of that. And so at the moment a website is in progress for us, and then when that website's finished, it'll have like promo shots. We did a photo shoot recently. We got body shots and headshots and tricks and photos of us doing tricks. And then we're also going to include the video of our act and then send that website to a bunch of different companies around the Bay Area and stuff, and hope that someone will want us.
Let us know when you have the website. I'll put the link down below.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you know for sure.
The video.
Yeah, thank you.
That's so cool. So did you choreograph that act by yourself?
Yeah, that was just me and Josh. It took a long time to make something acceptable, especially for Emmett, because we had to send him each rendition of the act and he would give us critiques. It was probably like at least way more than the 10th version of the act that we ended up performing. It ended up being completely different than the thing we imagined it being, but it was much better at the end. So it was just kind of you went to the gym we go to, it was a nice open ballet studio, and so we just were in there for like hours and hours trying to find stuff that worked well together and synced into each other, and how we would not get tired, because when you're making a hand balancing act, it's supposed to be like around 5 minutes, maybe a bit more. And so it's so hard to do handstands for 5 minutes straight. Like, it is ridiculously hard. And so you have to like come down from handstands and then find a non-awkward way to rest.
To recover.
Yeah. So you have to like throw in some flowery dance moves, and I've never taken a dance class in my life. So that was a new experience for me. But it was really fun, and it wasn't hard handstand wise at all. It was all performing pretty easy stuff, but just making sure I had the endurance to do the end tricks after doing like 2-minute sequences on my hands before that is really hard.
And how did you like being on stage?
Oh, that was so fun. There's nothing quite like it. The adrenaline that you get when you do a moderately hard trick that you think is cool and you put a lot of effort into, and then everyone loves it and claps the loudest, like that feeling is undescribable. It's crazy. Like, it's absolutely amazing. One of the best feelings I've ever had for sure.
Yeah.
And then also the reverse, if you do something you think is really hard and cool and nobody cares, it doesn't feel very good, but it's also really funny.
Yeah. Well, I can totally see you on the stage in the future.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we'll
or
figure some of our
maybe not
shows.
even in the future. Like, I mean, like tomorrow.
Yeah, we need to start working on some more duo stuff, because the act that we created was so long ago that we've both gotten so much better since then that we need to upgrade all the stuff in there for sure. Because performing that would be just a joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looked good to me.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
One last question about that, actually. Are you considering taking dance classes or anything to like fill the gaps between your tricks?
That's a good question. It would probably be good. If I was my coach, I would tell me to do it. But that's...
Does Emma tell you to do it?
Yes. He's told me many, many times that you need to take dance classes. And
you
Josh,
go pump.
me and Josh went to some ballet classes back in the day.
Oh, you did?
And
okay,
it was hard. It was one of the hardest things I've ever just been thrown into.
Yeah.
Because we went to the beginner class, but it was all people that had taken like this 12-week program beforehand, and they knew all the terms. They could do like really like turns and stuff, and it was hard. So we were obviously the worst, but it was a good like fish floundering in the pond.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm gonna get you to go to some dance classes with me.
Okay,
Definitely.
I'll come with you.
We'll make you dance. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
being
me.
on the show. Yeah. thank you so much for watching, guys. If you don't follow these two brothers on Instagram yet, go follow them. It's Morgan Lee and Joshua Lee. I will put the names below. And remember that the world is your playground, so just go ahead and do whatever you love. And I'll see you next Monday on the Soundschi Show.